Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today the lockdown continues, the quarantine continues, so I'm our guest today is not that far away geographically, but we're going to keep our distance here, but it's a guest that we want to get on for a while here. I was going to say El Presidente, but it's not El Presidente. He's the Krennic of the Star Walking fan club. It's the director himself. It's Luke Sword. How you going, mate?
I'm good, Josh. How are you?
Has anybody ever made a Krennic joke to you with that title?
I get more jokes about my name than the actual director position, but yeah, no, it does come up a bit. Yeah.
Is Sword your normal name? That isn't a stage name or anything, is it, or is that your?
No. My real name is Luke Sword. My middle name is Skywalker, which I did add.
Nice.
And people look at me like I'm a bit of a why. Why did you bother? Well, most people knew me as the Star Wars guy, and I figured I'd roll with it. Why not?
Wow, that's so cool. So it's actually like on your passport and stuff.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Passport, license, bank's got the details. They all look at it. Oh, that's a cool name, and just move on.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're like, I did it way before Ray did. All right, I've got documentation here. I wasn't just telling to some. Yeah, I wasn't just telling to some old lady, in the middle of nowhere. I can actually back it up.
I just pulled it out of thin air. Oh, I'll just be a Skywalker.
Yeah. How's your isolation going at the moment? Are you getting much free time, or you still got stuff on all day?
I'm sort of half in isolation at the moment. My job's still in operation, so I do have to go to and from that. But other than that, my extracurricular activities have gone to zero, which is a bit of a disappointment, as I do, like to socialise. A lot of my friends will say, "Oh, we saw you at the pub last night on a Tuesday." So, I can't do that anymore.
No such luck. Yeah, no. Like the only thing I didn't leave the house at all day except for to collect my daughter from daycare, and I took a risk and went to JB Hi-Fi and got myself a Rise of Skywalker 4K Blu-ray today.
Yes. Did you price match it though?
No. I should have recorded this yesterday. Where was I price matching it against?
Oh, Sanity had it for a few bucks cheaper, but not much.
To be honest, I got in and just grabbed it and paid my card and made sure there was nobody near me, and then I just ran out the door. So
yeah, no, I saw some guy on one of the forums on Facebook showed a picture of it in a JB on Friday, and I was like, nah, I'm ducking out at lunchtime, and drove down, got my coffee, and it was like, awesome. I didn't even watch it until Sunday, but I got it on the day. I was like, I might not have an opportunity to go out elsewise.
Yeah. Well, I made a special trip to go to a JB in Camberwell to get it on Saturday because I'd heard that it was out. And I went out there and I used the excuse of we got to get some shopping. I'll see if there's more toilet paper. And went down there and I went up to JB and was looking around. Couldn't find it. I'm like looking around. And I go up to the staff and I've actually realized I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, which is even worse when you're just like, hi, have you got the new Star Wars movie on Blu-ray? And they looked at me like...
they just get that stereotype.
I know. And they just looked at me and they were just like, this is the only question we've been answering all day because it's absolutely dead in there. They've just gone, oh, we don't have it. We're like the only store, the only JB that hasn't got it early. We don't know why.
What?
Everywhere else has got it. So I was like, I'm not going to drive around a bunch of different places. I've got to get home. Normally I would have just driven to the next one, figured out where the closest one, go there and get it. But I thought, I'll just wait. It'll be okay. So it's sitting.
Oh, it's out there. So, it's not like you're missing out on much. You get it the next day.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't, I've resisted watching the special extras that are leaked online, all that kind of stuff. Have you been through the special features yet or?
I've seen some of it leaked online. I wasn't one of those ones who, avoided it as such.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't actually sat down and watched it properly on the disc. I will probably do it later this week, maybe on the weekend. But, I'm going to be sitting there watching it by myself because I'm sitting at home doing nothing. So I'm like, I'll find the time to watch it. So
save a good time to do it. Yeah, exactly. So, what's it like to be the director of a fan club when basically a momentous closing of a thing happens and there's this sort of deep breath of void of not much going on? Are you like, hey, actually the stack's going on? Or you're like, it's nice to take a break from all the madness?
Well, it is kind of nice to take a break, but it's also a time that, we have to still interact with the members of the club.
Yep.
So we're sort of like, what else can we do? We have to sort of adapt and try to get things out there. So, yes, we've had to cancel some of our, meetings. Our members gather in groups and at venues in Sydney and in Melbourne. We've had to cancel across the board, but we're doing some live events. We're being interactive on our app and on Facebook with our members, getting them to interact more.
Yep.
So, we're trying to do more things whilst everyone's sitting at home in isolation, but we're also I'm quite happy to be able to do this without having to go out and do it. I can do it on my couch.
So it's kind of nice. At least you got sort of Clone Wars has come out as, you know what I mean? Like at least you can kind of pivot to that. You got that sort of ongoing talking point at the moment of like a weekly thing that's coming out that you can talk about.
Oh, definitely. Clone Wars is one thing, but then with all the announcements and release information for Mandalorian Season 2, it's rumours and content, and then there's new footage, and it's brilliant. There's always something Star Wars going on in
What's the footage?
the world. Every week
Is there some footage? I haven't looked at footage.
Oh, not footage, just confirmations and leaked information about certain cast members. We got the Ahsoka rumor originally, but now supposedly confirmed with Rosario Dawson. But and Michael Bihn's in there supposedly as another bounty hunter.
Kyle Reese.
Yes, Kyle Reese.
Back from the 80s. And,
back from the 80s, yes.
I'm trying to remember his character's name from Aliens, but it's just escaped me.
I can't remember that either.
I've got the Blu-ray on the
to be honest.
I've got the Blu-ray on the shelf, like right there. I could just give me 20 minutes, I'll go put it on. But the Rosario Dawson one, it feels like that was the fan cast, wasn't it? It's sort of like the Donald Glover as Lando kind of fan cast.
Well, yeah. It was. When the first season finished, there was this rumor, image going around with the whole cast of everyone for season 2, and Rosario was there as Ahsoka, and everyone was losing their mind over it. But it was just rumor. So, there was a few other actors in there. It's like, come on, they're not going to be doing this role, and so on. But it does feel like a cast based on the fan vote.
Well, she's sort of the right level of famous, but she's famous but not so famous. It wouldn't be ridiculous that she wouldn't be in it. She was in Daredevil and other stuff like that, but she's obviously a name enough where you know who she is. But at the same time, it's not.
If you don't know who she is, it's something seriously. She's been in a lot of things. So
she's in Clerks too.
Movies, and Clerks too. She's in Sin City. So, she's been major films as well as TV. So she's been around. People recognise the face too.
So what do you reckon? Do you sort of speculate on when they go, Ahsoka's going to be in Mando season 2? It's sort of, where does your brain go when you think of stuff like that?
Well, I hope based on what we've seen in the first season, it doesn't take away from the Mandalorian. So if they bring in a character like her, big pivotal character, she's there as an extra. She is there to support the Mandalorian. She's not there to take over the show like Baby Yoda did. But it's not about her. She's there to help. So just like some of the other extras that we see in the in the show, like RG-11, Cara, and so on, they're there to help the Mando through the story. So I hope she's in that role. She might appear in maybe 1 or 2 episodes, or on a mission or something like that. But I just hope they don't bring her in just because they can bring her in and put her in the whole season. Well,
the thing is also I think if you bring a character like Ahsoka in, she's obviously got a lot of skills and a lot of power. You can't have her just coming in, saving the day, using the Jedi. I feel like if they run into her, she's just going to be, I'm Ahsoka and you don't know anything about me or where I come from, what I can do. I'm just somebody. And then obviously she's probably like, hey, that looks like a baby Yoda, or I can feel the Force in that. But if you have Ahsoka as part of your crew all the time, you can be like, hey, Ahsoka, go use the Force and deal with that thing.
She's your super weapon,
Yeah.
It's like the Superman in the Justice League, You bring the big gun out. So... I would think she would have to be in there if there is an enemy that is of equal or similar sort of ability for her to have to come in to beat that enemy. Yeah,
but you also you have the danger of running into the Luke Skywalker conundrum, isn't it? It's like, how do we deal with having Luke Skywalker in our story if he can just beat everybody and solve every problem? We've got to find a way to creatively have him away from the action or hamstrung in a way so there's tension and there's what's going to happen, because if Luke Skywalker shows up, game over.
Well, I was actually happy that they didn't have any Jedi in the first season at all. They mentioned them as like sorcerers. They didn't even mention them as Jedi. So they're like a rumor or a myth or something like that. So these guys are on the outer edge of the outer rim that haven't seen the Jedi, or there might only some have. So to introduce Ahsoka, yes, she's not officially a Jedi as such. She's on her own. She does her own thing. She walks her own path. But I think introducing her, she's got to be there there's got to be some other reason there why they're bringing her in.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like it's everybody goes, oh, Dave Filoni joint. He loves his Ahsoka. He's going to bring her in and it's funny every time I sort of talk about Ahsoka and stuff. I just like I don't think any character has been 180'd by the fandom as much as Ahsoka from when she started out. Like people did not jive on Ahsoka.
Opinions at the start. They all didn't like her at all.
Well, that's what I mean. She's just absolutely pivoted into this loved character now, and she is still, for the most part, a character that only not hardcore, but like you got to be a bit of a serious fan. You can't just talk to somebody like my mum and dad who go watch Star Wars movies. They got no idea who Ahsoka Tano is.
No, you have to be a Clone Wars fan to understand her character arc and her development, and why she's become so cool.
But she could potentially cross over. You know what I mean? Like she could if she gets onto a Disney Plus television show, all of a sudden the profile is way higher than Clone Wars ever was. So her profile could shoot up completely. If the character sort of resonates with people, but it will be a different character to a point. It's going to be live action, different age range, different situation, a lot of different stuff.
Oh, definitely. It's we're going into an unknown. This live action TV series for Star Wars, they've already shown that they can do such an amazing job without any Jedi in the first place. Well, imagine what they can do with Jedi. It's called money. That's one thing, special effects, and they can do anything with it. But my other concern is now, are these rumours then going to be added in afterwards? I thought they'd already finished filming for season 2. Yeah,
it's funny that's going to come up now, hasn't it? But I mean, they've seen to film this stuff, in mostly a lockdown studio for the most part. So it might, and you got to wonder about when these rumors come out, like at what stage. Maybe nobody on a filming point of view is saying anything, but when it gets to a post-production, someone's in special effects or something is going, hey, there's a bloody Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka in here, come and have a look at it, which is why the leak has only come at that point in the production, which is why no one spotted her.
Or was it it could have been like a tactical leak by Disney. They could have deliberately, we'll just feed someone this information to try and get a bit more buzz about it.
Yep. Could be. I don't know,
mate. They've done that before.
Yeah, you got the Disney contacts, not me.
Well, we do have some, yes.
Wow. So, just go back to your role as the director of the fan club.
Yes.
And obviously, your middle name's Skywalker. It's very clear that you're, a big Star Wars fan. Is there pressure as a director or as a figurehead of something to like everything? Did you feel that, or is it more that if I don't like something, I just am fair about it? I have to have a certain attitude to things that I don't jive with.
With that sort of thing, okay. Well, it's really obvious with the fandom with the latest trilogy that's come out. A lot of people liked one aspect, other people hated other parts of it. Mm-hmm. Last Jedi was a good example of it. That was very split down the line with the fans. Some people loved it, some people liked it, some people hated it, some people despised it, and did things like that. Me, on the other hand, I have to, as the director, I have to wear two hats. Mm-hmm. I have to be the director of a club that supports everyone's opinions, which is great, but accepts everyone's got their own opinion on something. That's fine. And we sort of touched on this with our last live stream with Chris, the previous director of the club, Chris Brennan, and he didn't like certain aspects of The Rise of Skywalker, where I did. Mm-hmm. He still enjoyed the film. I still loved the film, but we had our own different opinions on it. So my personal opinions about something and what I should be promoting for the club kind of have to be separate, because I might not like something, but I have to still promote it because other people in the fandom in Australia and the world do. It's Star Wars. We have to, the motto of Star Walking is, well, how we word it is, the tagline is the Star Wars Appreciation Society of Australia. So that's always been the tagline.
Yep.
And that is the prime motive behind Star Walking, to share our love and appreciation for all things Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, some people don't like certain characters. Yes, some people don't like certain movies or didn't like when Disney came into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But others do. So as a whole, Star Walking is there, and me being the director, I have to sort of lead that way in a we share everything and we love everything to do with Star Wars as Star Walking. So
yep.
Hopefully that answered that question, but long-windedly. But
no, it's good. No, I just appreciate that, because it's, like, I'm just a guy with a rinky-dink podcast, and I'm pretty easy to please. And even if there's something that I don't really think it's great, I'm like, that wasn't for me. Whatever the next one is. I'm not in my car ranting or breaking my figures on the camera or anything like that kind of stuff. But
which others have.
Yeah, so. Of course. But I mean, you're obviously, because you. Like you said, you wear two hats. Like you're just a fan, like everybody else. And at the same time, you're representing a group. Like you said, that's it's a fan club. So there's going to be different levels of appreciation one way or the other. So I just find that interesting, that sort of tightrope kind of thing, because it's, for the most part, a lot of fandoms, and especially stuff like podcasts and things, they don't have to wear two hats. They can just wear one hat, and who cares if you don't like it? And you're not really, you're either with me or you're against me, whatever. I just find the thing where the situation you're in is quite interesting. It's even a little bit more old school as well. Like you are sort of representing a conglomerate of people, and you have to sort of make sure that you appear welcoming to everybody, really.
Well, yeah, that's what a fan club should be doing. Although there are some clubs around the globe that are very, this is the way, has to be the way it should be done.
Yeah.
But if you don't like it, you're not part of that sort of group. You have to follow this rules, and you have to like this. If you don't like it, you're not part of that group. So, Star Walking as a whole is there to share anything. If you like Star Wars, if you just love the animated series, or you like the comics, the novels, anything, up these podcasts, it doesn't have to be Star Wars everything.
Yeah.
This podcast, exactly.
Please like
if
it.
you love any aspect of Star Wars, that's what Star Walking's there to help share to everyone else, but also to encourage you to join other people who do like that as well. Come together as a group, come and discuss, come and share that love with other Star Wars fans.
Now, the last time I saw you in person was midnight, Rise of Skywalker, and we sort of touched base briefly, because you're a very busy man. You had a lot going on.
Racing around like a madman.
Basically, like a madman. And I was sort of doing a few things for the podcast, but kind of at my own pace, really. And I only had to, make sure I had enough for myself. But how did that evening go for you? Just as far as, like, did you feel like you gave yourself enough time to just sit and enjoy the film, or were you kind of running around to the last second, getting in your seat, or did you just sort of go, all right, 15 minutes before, I'm just going to sit down, soak it up, and take it all in?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I sat down when the lights turned off. So I
have to thank you for the seats too. We had very good seats this year. There's a running joke on the show that I got very bad seats to The Force Awakens when I was just a punter, and there was no reason why I shouldn't know otherwise. But this year, our mutual friend Dale Williams, I think, made sure that I had a very nice seat. So I probably have you to thank as well. So I always there's a running joke that goes on about that now. It's like, oh, he's telling the story about his seats again. But
Yeah, no, I heard about the average seats you had at The Force Awakens, and I was like, well, I was speaking to Dale about it because he mentioned it, and I said, well, is he part of your extended group? And we'll, put him as your group of your seats as a larger booking, and
I had no right. I had no right to have any better seats for Force Awakens as well too. I wasn't, I was just there as a blow-in, same as everybody else. So there was no reason why I would be anywhere else. But so I didn't see you rushing to your seat in the last. I think I was probably too busy waving my lightsaber around or something, I think.
Oh yes, yes. That was. Thank you very much, Disney, for that. That was a really cool surprise. We found out that day, and I had to keep my mouth shut. I couldn't even tell anyone else on on the team that will help him run the night, and it's like, no, we've got to keep it a surprise. Got to keep it a surprise.
So does some dude just pull up with a station wagon full of lightsabers or something? Does he?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, now some representatives from Disney Australia came down and put it all on the seats whilst we were getting ready for the event. So
they've got there's Disney offices in Richmond, I think. So there are they do have offices in Melbourne, don't they? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's more of a representative sort of capacity. They don't do massive distribution or anything that comes out of a warehouse anyway. So
it's not like it's not like kind of going to Lucasfilm or anything. You're not going to walk down to the Disney offices in Richmond and be enchanted, and like you are if you walk into Lucasfilm or something like that.
I highly doubt that's the case. It's just a building down in Richmond. So like that midnight screening. I've been part of the club on the committee, helping out for a couple of the midnight screenings. I helped out with the Last Jedi as well as The Rise of Skywalker, and like you, I was another person in the crowd for The Force Awakens, but I was still heavily involved with the club at the time. I was more, I'm new, but you guys are running it at that time. So, it was an experience. I've hosted big events before, but nothing that big. We had 700 people there. It was phenomenal. It was an amazing event all up. We worked in conjunction with the 501st and Rebel Legion and the Mandos. They all came down and put on a show for the fans.
I love it, those Mandos, don't they? They have Mandos swanning around like they're king dicks at the moment. They're just like, yeah, everyone knows who we are now.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be so many people trying to sign up and join them now because of good old Mando.
Yeah.
But they were loving it. They were in the buzz of it all and get so many photos, and all the kids were, oh, cool, Mandalorian, got to get a photo with the Mandalorian. Doesn't look anything like the Mandalorian from the show, but it's still a Mandalorian.
Close enough. It's got that visor on it. It's close enough.
Exactly. So, no, it was a brilliant event. The club had a great time organising it, and at the end, as long as everyone come out of the event with a smile on their face, or at least most of them, there's always some people who don't, but there was no issues, no hiccups on the night, so we didn't have any technical mishaps for the movie, which was a bonus this time. So,
which one?
We had
was Solo have a mishap? Was it?
Yeah, Solo. There was a bit of a sound issue. They didn't switch the microphone over to the speaker just before the movie started. So, whoever was on the microphone, it was just the mic sound going through the speakers, not the actual movie sound. So
it wasn't like the Naked Gun who went off to the toilet and started taking a piss and you could hear all the which I think happened for real recently. I think there was a YouTube a clip online recently where someone did that at like a USA town hall thing where he literally got up and went to the toilet with the lapel mic on and was broadcasting it into the chambers and stuff. So.
Oh wow!
Very cool.
It was so embarrassing. Oh wow!
So you got to when you rushed to your seat and you sat down and the lights go down, the lightsabers go up. Did you sort of take a breath? Do you look around and sort of soak in your achievement? Get your chronic on? Do you sort of this is my achievement sort of thing, or are you just glad that you made that no hiccups?
I was more glad that there was no hiccups and that the movie started without a hitch. There was everyone a lot of my friends came to the night and thanked me for putting on such a great event. And I appreciate the thanks, but we're putting it on for the fans. So it's for everyone that rocked up. That's what we do. That's what Star Walking does. So, I have a sense of achievement for getting it done. There's a lot of work involved behind the scenes. But, with a successful night, that's all it's about. If there's no issues, there's no hitch, there's no concerns, it's it's a big tick, a big plus, and we're all wrapped for it. So I was wrapped at the end of it.
Yeah.
So,
so what does it feel like now? Where it could be years before you do another one? Is there sort of can we do an Empire? I mean, an Empire Strikes Back 40th might be impossible now, just the world we're living in now, but because it's so close.
Wow.
So you sort of. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I don't know if you can't say stuff you can't say, but at the top, does it? Is there stuff on the horizon, or you just don't know yet? It just completely depends on what comes out when. Or
we are in a bit of a predicament at the moment due to the lovely issues in the world at the moment, but we do have plans to do something big with The Empire Strikes Back later in the year, and I'm not sure if you're aware of it. When Empire Strikes Back was released in Australia, that's the time frame we're sort of targeting, but in August.
Yep.
That's the release date for Australia. If anyone at home doesn't know, it wasn't in May, like in America. It was a few months later. So,
which was the case up until like Phantom Menace was. I remember was like months later as well. I mean, I just remember waiting months for that. Still had to wait time for that to come out, and that wasn't even that 20 years, I suppose. But it's not like the good old days now. We get Star Wars before America.
Well, yeah, now there's same day releases. With the amount of piracy and all that dodginess out there with people doing the internet is really the big problem because of it. So they have to release it all at once, which is great for us fans. We get it at the same time as the Americans and the UK and all that. We all get it within the same 24 hours rather than at 3 months later, and it's already spread around the world illegally.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's
so
Empire's to adapt.
Empire's a possibility in August, or that's sort of the dream is at the moment.
At this stage, it's all on paper and pencils rather than locked in due to the issues in the world at the moment. But we do have some big plans for that event. So if we can't do that, we'll always put something else on. We'll do something to celebrate the Empire 40th anniversary. It is a favourite for a lot of Star Wars fans out there. It is voted usually in the top 10 of any great film of all time for any list, usually over the years. So not just Star Wars fan love the film. A lot of film critics,
sure.
A lot of
look, I mean those Melbourne Symphony Orchestra things are just evidence in themselves. They absolutely when they do the MSO stuff, it's huge. And a friend of mine, she works for the MSO and she's involved in it and quite heavily, and she manages the orchestra and stuff. And she's just like, these Star Wars ones are always massive, and they're always multi-nights, and people always want them. They just go off, and every time we finish them, people go like, oh, we missed it. We want to do it. We want to do this. We want to do this. And I don't know. She was. I saw her before Christmas, and she was sort of talking about like, oh, we don't know what to do next. We don't to do next, and that's not Star Wars related. I said 1989 Batman. That's what you need to do. That's I'd
be saying that. I would definitely go and see that.
She's like, oh, interesting. I'm like, that people would be down for that. So if 1989 Batman
really
hits,
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
I think Tim Burton done films of all kind. That music and the score behind it's always usually pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we went and saw Rise of Skywalker, but just before it finished its run at the Astor in Windsor. Probably about a week before it finished up, I think, completely, and that was actually really great. That's like, it all depends on paper and stuff, but Empire Strikes Back in that big old Art Deco cinema, the 2 levels. Geez, give me I'll buy my ticket right now. Get me down there.
Trust me, I would love to see it there. Like, I'm sure you're in the similar sort of position. You weren't like old enough to see it when it originally came out at the cinema.
No, just too little.
Yeah. So getting that experience again, to watch it in a traditional cinema back like like it was when it came out, to celebrate it would be brilliant. It'd be amazing. So for those who were around there, which there's quite a few of you, love it and watched it. Had to be there. Share that experience again. Share that experience with your kids, your grandkids even.
Yeah.
So to relive that experience again, it would be amazing.
Now, did you? I just can't remember. Are you in for Star Wars Celebration? Or before it's got cancelled, or were you not in this year, or was it wait and see? I can't remember. I think we discussed it very briefly one time we caught up. But
we were sort of playing it by ear as a wait and see. Star Wars is a non-profit, so if we had enough funds to, even if we went pay ourselves on our way, like for me, I realistically couldn't afford it this year.
Yep.
So I'm in the middle of saving for a house and trying to do the adult thing. But
it sucks. Don't do it. Run away. Run where you can.
I have done Celebration before, and I did Celebration 6 in 2012. And
where was that?
I'd love to do it again. Orlando.
2012, right? So that was like right in the middle and not much going on, like movie-wise. That's pre-Disney,
pretty much.
Yep.
That is just before it went to the announcement for Disney. Disney's announcements was about 12 months later, really. Yeah.
Wow. So what's that like at a celebration like that? Because like we went last year to Chicago, and it's just like Rise of Skywalker, Mandalorian. Here comes all your new stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Clone Wars, it's coming back. Like, are they just kind of going books, comics?
It was more about
was Clone Wars out then, or
it was no. Well, actually, I think it was still out at the time. Yeah,
Yep.
The 2012 it would have been, but that was more about highlighting the actors, getting them to do a lot more things rather than promote the new movie.
Yep.
It was them promoting, themselves and reliving what they did in the past. So he had every
Anthony Daniels
actor.
moves. So.
Well, he was definitely there. He was there everywhere. So
he's the king. He's the king of celebration.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves the fans, but he loves the attention too. So, but for that sort of experience, I thoroughly enjoyed seeing quite a few people that I will never be able to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
I got to meet Carrie Fisher, I got to meet Kenny Baker, I got to meet Peter Mayhew. They're big three of the original team that I'm not going to have that opportunity to see anymore.
Yeah.
But it was good to see them all in one shot. There was one person that I could not see. So everyone else, I got to speak to them all. I got to, have a good chat and get signatures, photos, and all that jazz with them.
Yeah.
And that was Mark Hamill.
Hamill? Yeah, I was going to say, is that Hamill?
That was Hamill. It was an 8-hour line to see him. And I was like, it's a 4-day convention, but I don't want to waste a whole day just lining up to see one person. So I saw 3 people that day instead. It's like,
so that was just lines. There was no... Like, you just got a ticket. Like, because I know, obviously this is 8 years later or 7 years later at Chicago. Like, it was a lot more time regimented and things. Like, I think you got a little slot, and I don't think the queues weren't quite as long and stuff. And like, obviously we had the lottery and stuff for panels and things, so there was no queuing up for panels or anything like that.
Well, even in 8 years, the technology for them to set it up as lottery or like, with the announcements on the apps, this group's going to come to it now. Come, make your way to the line.
Yeah.
The technology is a bit better now for them to, be logistical in that sort of sense. So they did have signs saying how long it's going to take and you want to come back later. Mm-hmm. It's like people were just like, no, we're lining up, we're staying in the line, we're going to wait for him and do it, because otherwise, if we don't do it now, we're not going to have that opportunity to do it. So
yeah.
Sorry, I was the same when I was lining up for Carrie Fisher. I made some really good friends in that queue for the 4.5 hours I was there. But I met some guys from the UK. I met some guys from, all around the world, some guys from Spain as well, who were there just for the convention.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And especially now, like Carrie's no longer with us and stuff. You sort of look back and go like, man, I'm really glad I took the time to, to get that. And, actually Peter Mayhew and Kenny Baker, they're all no longer around anymore, sadly. So
there were quite a few others I did see on the at the event, of course.
Oh, I know, but they're the ones that you're going to go, wow, I'm glad I did it. And
well, that's exactly it. I'm thankful that I spent that time and made that effort to line up with everyone else to, do it. But, celebration. It was an amazing convention. It was a 4-day thing. I was racing around. Oh, by the way, I went by myself, which is, I would never recommend doing a convention like that by yourself. It is chaos. Well, yes, you can do what you want when you want, but you can't take photos. You can't take a photo of you in it. You've got to rely on some other random to take a photo. So it was like, I'll partner up with a few people, who I met the day before, and, might go around and do a few things with them. And it was good. I made some friends throughout the thing. It was an amazing experience. But if I did it with someone else, it would have been, I reckon, even more of an experience. So
yeah, we had a group. We had a group of about 5 or 6 of us who went over, and then we also had sort of people we knew from the sort of the world of podcasting and stuff, I'd had on the podcast and knew a bit and knew online and stuff, and you kind of have that, ooh, hello internet friend, and then you're just like, there's my friend. So we're hoping that if it goes ahead whenever it happens, it'll be good, because it will be none of that. You'll just be jumping straight back in, and I've mentioned on this a couple of times that given what's going on in the world, and it's so up in the air, that if it happens or when it happens, it'll be a big one, just because even though there's no new movie, it'll just be hey, we thought we lost it, now we've got it back. It's more about the people, I think, than the...
Well, I hope it's going to be more about the people, more about the fans, more about the cast, celebrating what they've done, and putting it back to the artists who are going to put more art out, the comic guys, the not films, everything else that supports the films, that keeps the story going.
Yep.
That's what should be celebrated at Celebration, not just, it's a new movie, yay, which was like, I had no problems staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching the live stream in Australia to wait for the new trailer or anything like that. No, but it's like, we don't have a new trailer, although we might, from what I hear. There could be something else coming out then. So,
oh, dude, you're killing me with this insider information, these secret whispers.
I wouldn't say it's inside information, but they did put a bit of a delay on a certain Kenobi project.
Yes, wow.
What perfect time to release a lot of information and a possible teaser.
Well, it'd be nice. We're kind of going, well, since they delayed it, and if Celebration is by the day, it's looking more likely that they're going to delay it. I don't think they're going to cancel it. I think they're just going to either push it back a year or to sometime next year. The cameras will be rolling on Kenobi by then, hopefully, so there'll be a bit to show with a bit of luck. But
they already had started doing some, but it's very minimal, like basic stuff. So they do need to start filming some more to give the fans a teaser or a trailer or some more information. So, I think they will delay it of some sort. They won't cancel the event. They will postpone it. They'll still do Celebration, but I think for the fans, they have to put it on. I don't realistically think it'll be this year. Everything else has been delayed or pushed back.
It doesn't... I mean, if it gets delayed, there's obviously people who, whatever the date is, won't be able to make it for one reason or another, whether it's their holidays or cost or whatever else. But for the most part, I don't think they lose much by... They lose more by cancelling the whole thing. And considering it's not pivotal to a release of a film, the date is a little arbitrary. It doesn't really matter that much if it's later.
No, that's exactly
if they've got to hit Mando. All right, maybe if it comes out Mando season 2, it misses that, riding that wave of that. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter. But what's your, like you mentioned Kenobi, is that the thing that you looking forward to most in new Star Wars stuff? Or
new Star Wars stuff, there's a lot of things on the cards. There's the Cassian series that a lot of people are real keen for.
Shout out Catherine Neen.
Yes,
good friend Catherine. Every time we mention Cassian, we have to mention Catherine. Yes.
It is a bit of a mystery with this one because not a lot of information's come out. Like, there's all those rumours about what the story's going to be, this, that, and everything. Are we going to see K2SO in it? This, that, and everything. But it's like, it's all rumour. It's all talk. We don't even know if it's getting filmed. So, there was reports that it's being filmed and other cast members are being put into it, and it's like, it's all talk because nothing official has come out of Disney. Nothing official has come from, any of the actors themselves, or nothing officials from Lucasfilm. So it's, it's all rumour and this, that, and everything. It's like, oh my god, what I would like to see is the High Republic.
Yep.
What comes out of the comic series, whether it's going to be positive. I'm hoping it will be, and whether they actually turn that into the new trilogy.
Yep. I mean, it's the perfect breeding ground for new ideas, isn't it? Because it's cheap to make, and if it doesn't jive, it's not really the end of the world. But it's potentially
it's a limited run series, and they start again with something else.
And it's potentially rich, where they can just pull stuff out if it goes ahead really well, or a book or a character or a thing really connects with people. So. Is that the stuff that excites you most? Like more books, like new stuff, new unknown era? Do you you want like, oh no, man, I want to know more about Obi-Wan Kenobi in the desert, or you just give me a bit of everything.
See something like we've always had, from the very start. It's always been the Skywalker story. So everything is related around that sort of time frame and time period in film and TV. Even the Mandalorian set after Return of the Jedi and before the Force Awakens, it is a time period which is still relevant to the Skywalker timeline. So I would like to see something that's new, whether it's set after, like well after, Rey's passed on, she's 100 years old.
Don't say that.
But, something that's in the far future, or something in a different timeline altogether that, yes, we might have some references like to some of the characters. So the High Republic itself is a perfect opportunity. They may have like an appearance from Yoda.
Yeah.
He's quite an old character. Maz Kanata's another one, very old character. We might see some other Wookiees, Tarful, for instance. He's older than most, and Chewie's dad, he may make an appearance at that sort of age. Like, they do live for a couple of 100 years. So we could see, yes, it's still Star Wars, and we've got some similar characters, but it's from an earlier period, and the majority of the story is going to be completely new. We don't know that storyline. We don't know that timeline. So I like anything that's the unknown at this stage.
Yep.
Disney has got an opportunity to go in a direction. Fans kind of were on the fence with what they've produced so far because, people are expecting certain things from certain characters. They've got a clean slate now to do something new. So I think it'd be a surprise. Why not give them something new to do?
Oh, for sure. And like Star Wars is always, slicing the information off the established stuff, or filling the gaps, or what was that person doing in the corner over there while this thing we know is going on, or this little story, or this is what they're still doing at the moment. Like there's new Star Wars comics, and it's just like in between them picking up Luke and getting to the medical frigate, there's a whole run of comics of an adventure that happens in between this. It's like threading the needle of all this little information that you can put in.
Exactly.
Which is cool. Like, it's interesting, but I don't. I like reading it. I find like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't sit and watch Empire Strikes Back and go, now that ruins that. As far as what the movie happens.
It's retconning this and changing the plot for this, and it's like, that doesn't make sense anymore. It's like, no, who cares?
Exactly. I just take it as it comes. I don't get too sort of worried about that kind of stuff. The High Republic is interesting. I think. Yeah, are you a book guy? Do you feel responsibility to read all the books and stuff? Or are you just going to do what you can?
I kind of do what I can where I can. I do like pictures. Picture books are a lot easier to read. But I think for Star Wars, a picture, like a graphic novel, for instance, it helps with developing that imagination about what the character is too. So I find like the graphic novels that they've released in the past shows a character, shows what they, the stance that the Jedi is standing in, or the type of weaponry that they're using, or type of ship that they've got. Mm-hmm. It's already telling a story of what it looks like. So we're not just imagining something and then, oh wow, it's on live action and it's different to what we imagined.
Yeah.
They've already shown us what it should be, and now we've got something to compare it to. Yeah, we can pick it apart. Oh, it's not the same, but we're kind of, oh wow, that's cool. So we've seen like X-Wings and other ships and bits and pieces on graphic novels, but then we see it in live action. It's the same ship. We recognise the ship. There's some sort of recognition there, rather than, oh wow, it's a Sullustan Jedi that wears this certain robe and he's got like 2 tentacles half chopped off because he can't use a lightsaber to save himself. We're imagining something what he looks like then.
Yeah.
So by putting that in a graphic novel with like an image, I think it's sort of like, oh, okay, cool. He looks like this. It may not be exact if they go live action with it, but at least they've got a base to work with.
Yeah.
So I like that sort of off-screen Star Wars stuff, where it's like a graphic novel, but they haven't really brought a lot of it out there that's like new now. It's all like doing the same thing at the moment.
So here's another Darth Vader run, or here's another Boba Fett run, or here's
I do love my bounty hunters. Don't worry about that. I will be probably reading that one, but I'll wait for a few issues to come out before I sit down and get involved with it.
Do you
see how it actually?
Do you collect? Like, are you a collector of stuff? Like, if we you're just out in your back porch at the moment. If we open the door and you walk in, and is it just Star Wars shit all over the rooms and stuff like that, or have you got a very specific collection of? Is it a focus collection, or is it just a hodgepodge of stuff? Or
I'll just show you the jumper I'm wearing at the moment.
He's very good, very cool.
Seen one of these ones before.
Yeah, cool Stormtrooper Adidas jumper, very nice.
Yeah, the nice fluoro one. Mate, I have got a collection that's very eclectic, very unique. Most of it's in storage at the moment because I'm currently not living at my own house. I'm living with my parents, saving money for adulting. But it's everywhere still. It is everywhere. I see something at the shops. Oh yeah, I should be. Do I want to buy this nice? Meal, or this is a nice shirt I have to go buy and for a wedding, and oh wow, I don't have any money because I bought Star Wars stuff the other day. It's just, but yeah, no, I do. I'm a collector. Like a lot of people out there, they have their certain things that they like to collect. Me on the other hand, I like that. I'll buy it. It's not necessarily a whole set or
So there's not like a theme. You're not like, I got to get all this, or I get all R2D2, or I get all this. You're just like, I get a bit of that, and I get a bit of that, and like a bit of this.
Well, I get a lot of me. That's the thing. I have to find Luke stuff. So there's a lot of Luke stuff out there that's absolutely terrible. A lot of the Power of the Force stuff, anything related around that, it's dime a dozen.
I was in the city a couple of weeks ago for the first time I'd been in the city in months, and I was having lunch with Steele Saunders from Steel Wars podcast because he was in town. So catching up and having lunch with him, and
it's a great guy, awesome guy.
Good dude, and I had some time to kill before, and I'm like, oh, I'll go up to Myer and have a look around, see what's going down in Myer, check out the toys and stuff. And it was so weird, like their Star Wars section, they had at least 40 of those Black Series Luke X-Wing helmets, which I've never seen anywhere else, for $200 each. I'm going, right, well, I'm not buying that. And then
that's why they stay there.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'll see you in 8 months' time, right, for $100. And
or even 80.
80
$50 maybe.
80.
Clearance, right?
The thing is, I'll probably buy it at 80 and then it'll be 50. I'm like, oh, God damn it. And then the only other the only other figure that they had was this like 3-pack. You probably know it was Luke. I think it was Darth Vader, Luke, and Yoda from Empire. And Luke is in like he's training on Dagobah.
Oh, it's the 3-pack set.
Yeah, and he's got these bizarre muscly arms that look like they're like going down to his knees. They must have had 40 of them, and that was like 50 or 40. And I think they wanted like $60 or $70. I think they were.
Yeah, they were $70 when they came out. Those things.
I actually think I took a photo of it.
6 sets of them. Yeah.
I don't know if I can find the photo, because I remember just going. And I think they were already started to be on clearance. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they're down to 50 from $80. I'm going, dude, you got a long way to go down before. And they're only the 3 3/4 ones as well. I don't know if you've shelled out, but
no, I didn't get those ones. I was looking at the there's a Luke and Luke, the 3 different versions of Luke that came out with Empire. So they had the 3 different outfits they originally had with the Power of the Force series and redone. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'd get it. But then I looked at the price and I was like, no, I can wait. I'm quite fine. I don't need to spend that money on that.
The Aussie dollar
I don't have to collect everything.
The Aussie dollar, dropping where it is now. I've seen Black Series going up to $50 in places now, and I've just gone, there's just no way. There's no way.
It's nuts. The Revan one that came out at Zeng at the moment, it's, I think, 50 or 60, and they're flying off the shelf because it's Revan. It's like, when have you ever seen light side Revan in a show or a film clip? It's always been dark side Revan. So it's like,
I never.
It's in comics only.
Yeah, I didn't. It's not my guy. I'm not really familiar with that. Yeah, I know a bit about him, but it's not like I go, oh, I got to get a Revan. Like the only thing I've ordered recently has been the Kenner reissue of the original. Like they did the original Star Wars ones, like the original 6 re-released, the retro ones from like the 70s, toys. Yep. So I've got the original Star Wars ones, and they're doing the 6 for Empire as well. So I'm like, I'll get those.
If it's a, I find them quite nostalgic. So if you've got the original ones and then you got those, you can put them side by side. Oh, that's cool, But I got the Luke from that set.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, well,
I didn't worry about the rest of it. I didn't have the money at the time. I was like, I really only want that one, so I was fine.
Did you keep him in the packet? Oh, you're taking him out.
Yeah, it's still in the packet. Yes.
Just played it safe, just in case.
Yeah, I was able to obtain one that came out of the packet from somewhere else, but yes,
I've actually got
my one.
I've got a spare Chewie. I've got 2 Chewies because I ordered them online and found a Chewie in the wild, and I thought, I'll buy it. And I think Michael Zabo, friend of the show, he wants a Chewie, so I've got to get that to him at some stage.
But not say it too loud, but where it is and all that, so you might have to come and hunt it down. So
that's very true. Well, we're just about to wind this up, mate. Thank you for taking the time out. And,
no, not a problem. Happy to chat.
Always
love talking about Star Wars stuff. So.
Talking Star Wars, I know. It's just this funny time where it's sort of Star Wars is taking a little post, Rise of Skywalker break, but things are happening now. Before we go any further, like we are supposed to be having a film in 2022.
Yes.
What do you like? We're talking making jokes that you've got all this crazy insight and stuff, but I know that you're just ultimately a fan. What do you want to see if the Luke Sword got to write the script for the next Star Wars film on the big screen? What would you like to see? Just in general terms, you don't have to, unless you've written the script. Like, I've got a script right here. I've been working on.
No,
like, do you want to go forward? Do you want to go back? Do you want to see existing people? Do you want to bounce off
I
the
want to
Republic?
see something new and original. And people might hate me for saying this, but I absolutely love the direction that The Last Jedi went in.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people hated it, but I love the fact that they did it in a different style. And it was not the same as what is a standard formula for a science fiction action film. It was not the typical formula. So do it in a different style. Do it with a lot of characters. Do it with a new, unique, something new, something that we don't have anything to criticize on or compare it to.
Yep.
Something that the fans can go, wow, this is Star Wars. This is what Star Wars is going to be from now on. This is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, some people might not like it still. That's their opinion. But I would like to see something new and something original, something different. Yes, it can still, have a Stormtrooper helmet there, or have, reference to other things in the past or in the future, or something to tie it into that Star Wars universe that everyone knows, that put that little bit of nostalgia in it. But you don't have to have, your Darth Vader, or your Stormtroopers, or your Jabba the Hutt, or some characters that everyone recognises. You could have go back to the Old Republic, the High Republic, something in the future.
Well, I look forward to you, seeing you on the midnight screening of the Boba Fett movie you're organising. You're like, well, they just did Boba Fett, but hey, it's fun to have these midnight screenings.
I would still love to watch that. I'm not going to complain. I love everything to do with Boba Fett. I got a giant Boba Fett tattoo all over me, and I love it. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about Star Walking, mate, where they can find it before we sign you off here.
Okay, Star Walking is the longest running Star Wars fan club in the world. That is correct. I'm based in Melbourne and Sydney. We did originally start out as a club called Hamels back in 1981-ish, which one of the founders converted it into Star Walking in 88. So we've been around since 1988, which is a long time, 32 years. Mm-hmm. So we host, what we call Skyforce, which is our club days, fairly regular throughout the year. Unfortunately, we're a bit out of the, with restrictions at the moment, so everything's been postponed. But Star Walking, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just type in Star Walking, you should be able to find us. Websites, www.starwalking.net. For members, we have a $10 membership, which we do send out newsletters to. We give discounts, entries to our events, and we have exclusive information that we send through on a member-only app, which, as of tomorrow, April 1st, we do have the launch of Podcast of the Month, which I believe is this podcast, I think, isn't it, Josh?
It's all about synergy, mate. It's
it's all, it happens. So we do team up with a lot of other people, just like yourself, to share the love of Star Wars with everyone. So Dale and Michael from It's True, all of it, their podcasts, we do team up with them and help get some interviews with them, with some stars and guests. So we put that in our newsletters. We share it with the fans. So Facebook, just type in Star Walking, you'll see the logo. You can't miss us. Follow the page, and we've actually got a few live events coming up soon. So if you're interested, our Sydney team are doing a live event on Sunday at 1 p.m, where we would be normally hosting a club day where people come together at the Cabra Vale Diggers Club. We are going live and coming to you. So,
into the
jump
21st
on the
century.
Star Walking page. Well, build and overcome and adapt. With the current situation, we have to, we still want to share that love of Star Wars with everyone. So,
Awesome.
Our team in Sydney work hard as well. It's not just the guys down here in Melbourne that do a big job. We do have people around the country that work hard. So that's Star Walking. If you want to get in contact with us, our email address is starwalking@starwalking.net, but you can find us through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and via our website. So we're pretty easy to find. Just type in Star Walking.
Too easy.
In Google,
Surely.
It comes with everything. So.
Yeah, it's easy. You'll be able to find it for sure.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for coming on, mate. You can find all our stuff at StarWarsSpelledout.com. We'll be on the Star Walking podcast app as of tomorrow when this launches. This will be going live tomorrow, so timing will be good. I think that's about it for us. So thank you so much for your time, mate. And hopefully I'll see you in person soon.
Pleasure.
And hopefully we'll see you for a proper catch-up when we can leave our houses.
When we're not in, like old Ben Kenobi hiding in caves on Tatooine. So,
God, it better not be that long.
Master Luke was the master of isolation on that, island in the middle of nowhere. So, hopefully not that long either. So,
I hope so. I have to force project myself out of there if I have to do that.
Yes, true. We'll all be learning very, very, technical Jedi skills.
All right, cool, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Mate. No worries. May the Force be with you.
You too. See you later.